A new political party, the All Democratic Alliance, also known as the ADA, is being formed by prominent opposition leaders in the country, including David Mark, former Senate President, Rotimi Amaechi, the former Minister of Transportation, and Atiku Abubakar, the former Vice President and 2023 presidential candidate of the PDP, also Nasir El-Rufai, former Governor of Kaduna State. The party aims to unify opposition forces, promote national unity, and challenge the ruling party. Well, this has continued to generate reactions. To discuss this, I'm joined by Dr. Akeem Baba-Ahmed, the former spokesperson for the Northern Elders Forum. Thank you for your time, sir.
Thank you very much. Thanks for inviting me.
All right. Let me take you back to, a recent interview you had on this matter. I'll just pick part of the things you said in reaction to this new coalition. Part of what you said is that none of these people should lead or be seen in a position that are determining who should be in that coalition. They can work behind the scenes. What they need is a generational shift and a political shift away from who they are, what they have to do, what they have done, and what they want to do. Let me stop there, end of quote. Have you shifted grounds on your take on this coalition, and do you have any iota of faith in it? Is it truly an alternative brewing for Nigerians?
Well, I don't know which position I've shifted. I've been consistent from day one regarding the coalition. I've not changed my position. We need a robust, strong, and credible political option to the SDP, at least to test them in 2027 to see whether Nigerians genuinely want President Tinubu to continue or not. We need that coalition. It's healthy for our democracy. It gives people choices. And who knows, we might actually have a change of government. So my position has never changed. I've always supported efforts by Nigerians to entrench democracy. And the creation of this coalition represents a major step forward. Now, regarding whether there are issues with the coalition, I've made it very, very clear. A coalition that plans to be different from President Tinubu's APC, that wants to convince Nigerians that they can trust the coalition, whatever it is that emerges, whether it's a new party, whether they go into another party. If you want to convince Nigerians that you want to change Nigeria, change the poverty levels, change insecurity, give young people hope, then you have to be as different from his APC as possible. You have to show that you are willing to actually trust yourselves enough to say, look, we are not the people who should be fighting for positions here. We should be encouraging other people to take positions. We've done our bit for the nation, at least as actively as forward, as frontliners. What we need to do is to try and see if we can generate successors. Other younger people, healthier people, people with less political and other luggage who would come in and take the patterns from us in 2027 and lead the country into rediscovery and regeneration. They are very good people, most of them, the people involved in this coalition. But I think they will do better as father figures or mother figures, and they will do better as advisors to a different set of politicians who will be guided and supported all the way through an opportunity to test whether Nigerians can reject APC and adopt an alternative.
So from what you said, sir, you're saying that in as much as you believe, in the coalition, you feel that this new party in formation, which of course is being pushed by the former Vice President of Nigeria, Atiku Abubakar, Nasir El-Rufai, you feel that they should be in the background, and this time around, there should be a power shift to younger, more vibrant, in your words, healthier politicians. But looking at this make of individuals to that in the coalition, some would also say that, it comes with a lot of political experience, and they have it. So where does this lie?
And you don't have to be a contestant to put that experience in place. You are equating having an experience with the compelling urge to contest for an opposition. All of them have contested successfully. All of them have wielded massive power. Some of them actually under the very administration, Buhari's administration, that have brought this country to its knees. So you don't need to be in power just simply because you have experience. You can actually mentor, guide, and produce successors. And it is not a very popular thing in Nigeria, but the circumstances under which we live, the dangers we have. This is a government that still is trying to find its feet. And as far as Nigerians are concerned, we are in a desperate situation. We've never been in a worse situation. The situation we have calls for thinking outside the box, sacrifices, thinking of a new generation of Nigerians that can be trusted with power and responsibility to lead the country through recovery and rediscovery and strength. So they can put their experiences and their wisdom and everything at the disposal of a new set of Nigerians. And they can find them. In their party, they have them. You have intelligent, young, vibrant people who can do these things. All of them know them. If all of them can make a sacrifice and say, let's not run for offices, party or national, so whatever, and let's go out and get 20 people, 25 people, or select from 20 people who we can support from any part of this country, any, without preconditions. They will find younger, stronger, and more committed Nigerians who really genuinely detest corruption, because it's corruption that has brought us down, including our insecurity. They hate this tendency to say this part of Nigeria should be this part of Nigeria. There's only one Nigeria. All of us are suffering from the limitations of this administration. We need Nigerians who have a vision about what Nigeria should be in the next 20 years. Not a vision for me becoming president or becoming Senate president or whatever. Not that kind of vision. A vision for the country, a vision for our children, a vision for their children. That's the kind of vision we want. A Nigeria that can actually answer to its potential. That's the kind of vision we want. Not the next election. Not who will be president, but building successors as befits people who have, the nation has given a lot of these people, a lot. Why don't you give something in return? What is this business that it must be me or it should be nothing? Aren't we playing into the hands of government that has a lot more resources, a lot more clout, a lot more influence over very, very important institutions that can actually frustrate this coalition? That's my concern. A lot of those people I respect a lot, but there are options to what they can do. What I'm advising them to do now, with the little time that we have, is let them do something that will genuinely say to Nigerians, look, this is not about us, it's about you, and it's about the country, not about my ambition.
Let's move away slightly from the coalition. And let me ask, you at some point were part of the current administration of President Baba-Ahmed Tinubu, and you resigned, you left. What changed? What happened?
I thought I was going to be useful. When I got there, I realized that I wasn't going to be useful. I'm not used to just sitting in my hand. And I came out because there was really nothing for me to do.
How do you mean by nothing to do, sir?
I was supposed to have been advisor to the president in the office of the vice president. They never asked for my advice. They didn't show an interest in my advice. I don't think they really genuinely think they need advice from anybody. They make their own mistakes and they move on. And I've never been in, I've spent close to 50 years in public service. I have never sat down idle doing nothing and seeing things going wrong with this country, and I'm indifferent to that. Can't just collect a salary just for the sake of it. This country needs fixing, and it needs good hands. I'm not saying I have to be one of them, but they called me and said, come and help. And I went there in good faith. My services weren't put to use, and what is the point of hanging around? What are you waiting for?
Many thanks for staying with us. It's still Politics HQ on News Central Television. I still have Dr. Hakeem Baba-Ahmed as the former spokesperson for the Northern Elders Forum. He joins me virtually. Thank you for your time, sir. Sir, you, in your earlier analysis, you said that it's about time that we look for young, vibrant, more healthier, fresh ideas when it comes to politics as leaders across spectrum. We know that in the elections, we often see, aside the prominent parties, we see other candidates who vie for top job too. For instance, Amaechi Showore of the AAC, we also know of Adewale Adebayo of the SDP. But what do you think, as always, is the, will I call it, in terms of awareness right now? Why does it appear like Nigerians seem to be constricted within certain names and not wanting to look beyond maybe the names of the usual?
They're not really confined only to the elderly and the usual. Look, 60–70% of Nigeria is under 30. That means young people. This is a nation of young people. They would like to see people who understand what it is to be young and either educated or not educated, skilled or unskilled. They want to see somebody who understands what it is to live in a country that has absolutely no investment in you. They want to see Nigeria move forward. They want to be proud of their own country. They don't want to be running away to Canada, Norway, and all those countries. And we do have passionate, young Nigerians, patriotic. Okay, radical, but you have to be radical in a situation which says everybody must join the queue. If the politicians themselves really want to change this country, those are the kind of people they will go out, look for them, maybe put some discipline in them and maybe some politics in them and say, listen, you're going to lead a responsible country, so you have to be responsible. And what we're going to do is we can trust you with some level of power and responsibility, and who knows, one day you could be president. What is wrong with that thinking? Why can't we trust our own people? Why can't we trust Nigerians to do, young Nigerians to run their own country, to take hold of their own future? What is wrong with that? So it's not this, they make it about money, they make it about power, they make it about influence, they make it about themselves. Young people cannot break in unless they are in demonstrations or they are rioting or they are taking on governments that are locking people up. So there is a problem. That's why I mentioned the word, I use the word generational shifts. We need to move to the next generation. Most of the people who built this country, Nigerians in the First Republic, substantially in the Second Republic, were in their 40s, some in their 30s and 40s and 50s. Let them make their mistakes, but let them assume responsibility for the future and their lives. Look with some of the people who are staying, they have grandchildren who are in their 30s and 40s, for goodness sake. Shouldn't they trust those people, mentor them, give the future to them? I mean, allow them to decide what the future of this country is? What is wrong with trusting? Your own children will run your home one day if you live old enough to see them. They will take over even your home and run it.
All right.
I genuinely think mentoring, guiding the younger generations is the biggest responsibility for this leadership. And I tell you, if they can find good people and put them in the face of this change, the desire for change, they can win the elections in 2027. All
right. Before I let you go, sir, just two questions rolled into one. The first one being, sir, what would be your advice for President Bola-Ahmed Tinubu, particularly as regards to the economy and what I call it security in the country, which is an issue right now? Let me leave you to answer that in 30 seconds. And before I ask you my final question.
Well, I give my advice to the president when I published something I called a open letter to the president. I said, Mr. President, maybe you came in with good intentions. It's clearly a very challenging task you put on your head, given your age, given your disposition. The same advice I'm giving to these coalition people. Don't run again, sir. President Tinubu, please find somebody from your party. Find some people from your party. Begin to groom them. Let them take over from you in 2027. You've been president of this country. So God knows, until the end of history, your record is with there. You were president. No matter what it took for you to get there, you got there. You served us 4 years. It's nothing to prove anymore. leave a legacy that is even greater than being president. Leave a legacy for regeneration. It's the same argument I'm giving these people trying to form a coalition. The country needs to move its focus and its energy away from elderly people, people challenged by past bitterness or politics, people who are challenged by age, people who are challenged by health. These people need to begin to groom people. So my advice would but not if you are leading it.
All right, sir. Thank you so much for your time on the program. It's been a pleasure. Dr. Baba-Ahmed, former spokesperson for the Northern Elders Forum. Once again, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
All right, sir. At this point, we'll go on a quick break. Still staying on the topic, of course, we will bring it in. Mr. Kola Ologbondiyan is the former National Publicity Secretary of the People's Democratic Party to talk on this. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Well, joining me right now on the program is Mr. Kola Ologbondiyan, is the former National Publicity Secretary of the People's Democratic Party. Thank you for your time, sir.
Thank you very much, Dapo.
All right. Well, let me start with your reaction on, number one, the coalition that we are seeing, which, of course, is morphing into a new political party, calling the ADA, and also the gale of defection, across parties. What do you make of this, sir?
Well, first and foremost, you spoke about the coalition. I would like to establish that as we speak now, I am a member of the People's Democratic Party. So I don't have a picture yet, though I am not lost, but I don't have a picture that a member, that somebody who is within the coalition will have. But because as we speak now, I'm a member of PDP. If you talk about gate of defection across the parties, I have been saying this since January 2025 that there will be implosion in all the political parties, including the party of Mr. President, the All Progressives Congress, and it is manifesting day by day.
All right, I'm still going to stay with you on the coalition. Part of what I call it, the front figures of this coalition is the presidential candidates in 2023 elections for your party, the People's Democratic Party, in person of Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. I mean, does this, as a what I call it, loyal party member now, does this bother you as regards the standing of your party ahead of 2027?
Well, as you know, since I have been the one since January that there will be implosion in all the major political parties, and I mean the PDP, the Progressive Congress, the Labour Party, the NMPP. So since there will be implosions in these parties, definitely there will be shakes. Or let me say, there will be shaking in those parties. And because there will be shaking in those parties, a lot is going to happen towards those parties reasserting themselves and preparing for the next election. And definitely, this can also lead to the issue of coalition, where you will find members of a party before leaving their respective parties and merging or forming a sort of alliances on another political platform. And we're already witnessing that. So it's difficult for now to say this is the mold, or this is the shape, or this is the drive, or what is going to happen ahead of 2027.
Now, many of the, well, I call it elected officials that defected from your party, the People's Democratic Party, cited internal crisis. And for the signature, they decided to jump ship. I'd like you to react to this. And how deep at all is the crisis in the PDP? Would you say the umbrella is still intact, or is it very torn?
Well, the party is wholly challenged. I would like to put it that way. It's wholly challenged, and like I said in the case of implosion, I have also consistently for over a year been saying that, look, the current leadership of the party under Ambassador Elias Damagun will take the party to nowhere. I have said it consistently, and I've brought the attention of the leaders of the party to this fact and on the need to amend the situation, to forgo injustices and allow the party to function creditably and in a viable format. But we haven't had that. And because we haven't had that, people who are leaving the party are now blaming certain challenges within the party, even though we are also not aware about factors like intimidation from the ruling government and the ruling party, factor bordering on harassment from the ruling government and the ruling party. So on this scale of issues, people are now tending to say, look, it appears that because of the crisis and because we have all these sorts of intimidation, let us go and examine what is happening in the ruling party. But even that in itself, from my own understanding of politics, might lead nowhere, because there are people you want to go and meet in the All Progressives Congress who might not be prepared to accommodate you. And if they force this to happen, it can lead to other consequences of people also defecting from the ruling party. So we just follow it as it is and see where it will take us to.
All right, Logundi, I would go on a quick break. When we return, we'll dwell more on this issue. Stay with us, we'll be right back. Thank you for staying with us. It's still Politics HQ on News Central Television. I still have Mr. Kola Ologundiyan. He's the former National Publicity Secretary of the People's Democratic Party. He joins virtually. Thank you for your time, sir. Let's look at the role of the FCT Minister. I mean, you did allude that, that there are internal issues within the PDP. And for you feel that certain steps need to be taken to put the party on the right path. But let's look at the role of the FCT Minister, who is an active member of the cabinet of the current administration of President Baba-Ahmed Tinubu, an opposition to you, but also claims or also is a member of your party, that's the People's Democratic Party. Would you say that his activities and even his membership still with your party is helping, issues in any way, particularly at resolving the conflict within the party?
Well, the question you have asked me is a question you should have invited the national chairman of the party.
Why I put it to you, sir? Sorry.
Just wait. Let me give you the foundation.
Okay.
And ask him whether a member of his party who is in the working of the ruling party and the ruling government can also remain a member of the opposition political party. Straight question. And if he says no, then the next question is, what do you do in that circumstance? Because irrespective of the opinion that I hold here, I cannot influence, I cannot determine the consequences of the action of the FCT Minister, Nyesom Wike. The person who is charged with responsibility, who leads the group that is charged with that responsibility, is Ambassador Elias Damagun. I want to leave it at that. Okay,
I'm still going to stay with you on that, sir, because we've had conversations around this on this program, and one thing that has, consistently been said is that the FCT Minister officially informed the party that he will be working with the current administration and was pretty much given a nod, to do so. And the question of anti-party activity did come up. So, but they said it was given a nod. So I'm asking you, because I know that you are a core member of the People's Democratic Party. Is there anything wrong in this formation? Just your own personal opinion.
Thank you very much. My personal opinion goes this way. If President Baba-Ahmed Tinubu desires to form a national government, he will write to the party and tell the party, as it was done in the past, particularly during the tenure of President Olusegun Obasanjo, he will write to the party and say, look, I will be nominating members of your political party into a government of national unity that I desire to form. Now, Dapo, we didn't have that. So, from my own perspective, President Baba-Ahmed Tinubu is not in any form of relationship with the People's Democratic Party. And if he's not in any form of relationship with the People's Democratic Party, then it now follows that it is the choice of the Minister of FCT to work with President Baba-Ahmed Tinubu. So it now becomes on the party to decide whether it is right or it is wrong. And from what has happened, you are the one telling me now, Dapo, that the Minister of FCT, some week, said he wrote to the party. I am not in a position to know whether he wrote to the party. The only person who is in a position to know that he wrote to the party is Ambassador Ilasukuma Damagun, the acting national chairman of the People's Democratic Party. So that is the point I want to make clear.
All right. Before I let you go, sir, how would you, so far, rate, the administration of President Baba-Ahmed Tinubu in terms of, across board, the economy, security, and, daily living of Nigerians? Would you say that this administration, has done pretty much better than your administration, your party when it was in power?
Therefore, the All Progressive Congress administrations, starting from the tenure of President Muhammadu Buhari, 8 years, plus the 2 years that we have so far spent under President Baba-Ahmed Tinubu, is a pain in the neck of every Nigerian. The government of President Baba-Ahmed Tinubu, just like the administration of his predecessor, that of Buhari, is a colossal failure. There is no argument that will go to the streets and go and conduct a voice poll and hear what Nigerians will tell you. Today, as we speak, in Abuja, where I live here, a liter of fuel, which they say has come down, has stabilized to 850, is now 950 naira. Whichever angle you want to assess it. And I even found it very, very laughable yesterday that Mr. President said that he's starting his Renew Hope mechanized farming, and he commissioned 2,000 tractors in a country where we have 774 local governments. So Renew Hope mechanized agricultural farming now, every local government will be entitled to 2 tractors. Is it not laughable? Does it show any form of seriousness? Right. It's rather unfortunate.
Okay. I'm sorry, but we really need to go. I'll just ask you this before I let you go. Do you still have, given the crisis within your party, the PDP, do you still have faith in your party? Just one word, yes or no?
Until they remove the Amalgam and bring an effective leader, the party is going nowhere. I've said it over 1 year. I've been saying it, and I will not depart from it. The party will go nowhere until they replace Ilyas Umar Damagum, the acting chairman, with an effective leadership.
So that brings me to my final question. When will you now defect?
To where?
I'm asking.
Dapo, to where?
I'm asking.
No, to where now? Defect to where, Dapo?
No, I'm asking. Because we are seeing it happen with members of your party.
You have a picture in your mind of where I would defect to.
No, I'm only asking.
To where?
I'm asking, will you defect?
No, Dapo, you were saying, when will I defect? And I just asked, to defect to where?
Well, so maybe I should put it this way. Will you defect?
To where? Is it the same answer? Defect to where?
Okay.
I remember the People's Democratic Party.
Okay.
As we speak today, as we're speaking now, I remember the People's Democratic Party.
So there are no chances.
Election is not yet on my table.
Okay. So there are no chances in the future or anytime soon that you will defect? You are still a full-blooded member of the PDP, sir.
It depends on what you interpret. It depends on what you mean by defection. If defection is APC, no for me. If your own term of defection is going to the All Progressives Congress, for me, Kola Ologbontiyan is a no-no as we speak.
All right, sir. Thank you so much for your time. It's been a pleasure having you this evening. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.